सबको स्क्रिप्ट है, सबको बोलता है, इसलिए मैं बताया कि ये सब फेक नहीं है, लेकिन वाली मोमेंट का प्रूफ करने के लिए अभी तो वही ना वो बंदे के भी बहुत सारी मैंने देखा है तब दिखाया हां पूरा 2 मिनट का सब कुछ दिखाया नहीं नहीं भाई थोड़ा बहुत पार लिखा एक और वीडियो था अंडरवर्ल्ड कॉन्सेप्ट की डाटा वगैरह किसको लिखा तो नीचे गए तो उसमें साइड लिखा है कि नीचे साइड में होल बनाया था जिससे वो जो कंप्यूटर उसको वो ऑक्सीजन मास्क पकड़ा रहा था वो स्कैन किया इंटरव्यू हुआ
बैठ के पढ़ सकते थे ना इतना बात से इतना बात नहीं करके बैठ के पढ़ सकते थे ना हाँ क्यों यहाँ पे कौन सा इन्फेक्शन है सब खाली क्यों है इस तरफ एक ही फुट की तरह 1 2 आ जाओ एक और इधर 2 What was the last topic? Last topic we started vegetative propagation done. Did we study vegetative propagation? Check. What was the last topic we studied? That is over. Double fertilization is over. So what did we come across? Why is that process known as double fertilization? Remember, fusion of gamete takes place twice in the same ovule. That's the reason the process is known as double fertilization. Why does double fertilization take place? What is the what does this process give rise to? Double fertilization results in formation of seed and fruit. Which part forms the seed? Which part forms the seed? Ovule. And which part forms the fruit? The entire ovary forms the fruit. What is the function of the micropyle we had come across? Function of the micropyle was what? What was the function of micropyle? Nobody went through after that topic was over in the class. What is the function of the micropyle? What was micropyle? It was an opening at the base of the ovule for the entry of male gametes. So that is the function. 1 mark you are asked. Function of micropyle, which is an opening at the base of the ovule. Entry of male gametes, for the entry of male gametes. How many male gametes form from one pollen grain? 2 male gametes. And in contrast, how many female gametes? It properly, that's not the way to say it. How many female gametes? In contrast, in the ovule, how many female gametes? There would be how many female gametes? Check the diagram that you have drawn. How many female gametes are there? And what are their names? How many female gametes are there? How many? 3. Stigma style ovary gametes hai. What I am teaching in the class, you did not go through at all. What I have finished teaching in the class, you did not go through at all. Such? हाँ. तो अभी अगला स्टोरी सुन के भी क्या करना है फिर? ये चैप्टर अभी एग्जाम में नहीं आ रहा है, तो एग्जाम में जो आ रहा है उसमें से पूछूं? हाँ, आपका ना ट्राई नहीं करना है, ट्राई करने के लिए हम थोड़ी यहाँ पे बैठे हैं, करना है इसीलिए बैठे हैं ना इस क्लास में। ट्राई तो तुम स्कूल में कर रहे हो बैठ के। Now, what are the 8 gametes in the ovary, in the ovule of the flower? Always to remember how many male gametes, how many female gametes. Questions are asked, their names. How many female gametes? 8. And what are their names? Excel, did we draw the diagram? The section of the carpel we had drawn, and there I had explained you the concept of double fertilization. Yes or no? How many of you did not understand that concept? आया सबको समझ में? Did not understand? क्या नहीं समझ में आया? पूरा ही नहीं समझ में आया? हाँ? अब तो देखा नहीं, वो तुमको देखना पड़ेगा तब जाके। I asked you, doubt किसमें है? क्या concept में doubt है? The process, 2 steps we had learned, fertilization, triple fusion. आया समझ में? Fertilization again go through. I will again revise this because it is a very important part of the chapter. You get questions on this, 2 mark, 3 mark, full 5 mark questions. And not only direct questions, you get other different questions also. It may be just a diagram based and 5 mark questions. So the meaning is this topic should be clear to you. So try answering my questions as I ask you. So I already asked you that how many female gametes. Your answer is 8. There are 8 female gametes. Look at the diagram, you clearly understand. 8 female gametes. What are those 8 gametes? What are those 8 gametes? XL, and then 2 polar nuclei and 3 antipodals and 2 synergids. 2 synergids, 3 antipodals, 2 polar nuclei, 1 XL. ये आया समझ में? Now, why the concept of double fertilization? Because in that same ovule, if you remember the diagram, the explanation that I done, in the same ovule, refer to the diagram that you had drawn. In the same ovule, 2 times fusion of gametes. 2 times fusion of gametes taking place. So what is the first set of fusion? 1 male gamete and female. 1 male gamete and the egg cell. 1 male gamete and the egg cell. What is that process called? And what will it give rise to? The zygote. So now that we talk about the word zygote, what is it? Is it a single cell? Yes, it is a single cell. But it is formed by the fusion of 2 gametes, 1 male, 1 female, and that is the reason the zygote is able to undergo the process of cell division immediately. Why? If I consider the male, now for a class, say suppose I consider that the male gamete has 4 chromosomes, The female gamete has 4 chromosomes. When they undergo the process of fusion, 4 and 4 now forming 8 chromosomes, which is the total number of chromosomes of that plant, of that flower. So can the zygote undergo division, cell division and growth? Yes. So this zygote can undergo cell division. What is the first stage that they form? Multicellular structure? Embryo. And they will continue the process of growth unless and until the seed and the fruit and all these things are formed. The same concept here in case of human reproduction. That's the next topic that we are going to understand. If this simple basic thing is not understood, then what I speak now with reference to chromosomes and all these things, you will not be able to understand. So now, when I talk about the male and the female gametes here, in case of the plant, can the gametes undergo the process of division on their own? Your question, if you get this type of a question. Can the male and the female gametes multiply? Can the male and the female gametes show cell division? No. Why not? Because they have only half of the chromosome. Remember, for mitosis and meiosis, I gave you those differences. Gametes are formed by meiosis, where chromosome number becomes half. A cell of the flower, say suppose I talk about the chromosome number, the cells of the anther. Listen to the question, this type of questions you get. Cells of the anther contain 16 chromosomes. What will be the number of chromosomes in the male gametes? 8. The number of chromosomes in the cell, in the ovule, every single ovule has 32 chromosomes. What will be the number of chromosomes in each of the female gametes, or what will be the number of chromosomes in the egg cell? 16. So did you understand this way? Whatever be the number of chromosomes mentioned before division, after division it will be just the half. Is this understood? So now, what is the answer that you write? Can the male gamete show division and growth? No. Can the zygote show division and growth?
Yes.
Why? What is the reason? Because zygote has the full chromosome number. Because it is formed by the fusion of two male gametes, one male and one female gametes, 2 gametes. Now that it has been formed by the fusion of 2 gametes, 4 and 4 is obtained again, 16 and 16, 32 got again, 8 and 8, say whatever number is the number of chromosomes, the full chromosome number is obtained back. If I talk about the story of human, then here, in case of human, can the male and the female, same thing applies even for all the developed organisms including human. The male and the female gamete, can they undergo? One and two, I'm observing. Huh? Now, when we are talking about that these 2 gametes that we understand, even in the human, the male and the female gamete, 23 chromosomes each, 23 male with 23 female with. So can the male gamete multiply, grow on its own? Nothing. Can the female multiply, grow on its own? No. But now that the fusion has happened, fertilization has happened, now the zygote can grow, multiply, etc. and give rise to a complete organism. So यही same story plant में भी है. Once the zygote is formed. Now for the plant, the method was very simple that we had studied. A concept known as double fertilization. What is fertilization? What does it give rise to? You are supposed to understand very clearly. Where is the process of fertilization happening in a flowering plant? Ovule. The process of fertilization is happening in the ovule. Next is that after the process of fertilization of ovule, we had already understood that the zygote forms and then the zygote starts developing. But parallelly, what happens? The 2 polar nucleofuses form the secondary nucleus. This secondary nucleus will again fuse with the second male gamete, result in the formation of endosperm. तो अब जब ओव्यूल के अंदर एंडोस्पर्म भी है, and the embryo is also there. I already mentioned very clearly that depending on which type of flower and which type of plant, if it is the maize, then the endosperm will start developing much more. And वो जो embryo है, वो एकदम एक मतलब एक insignificant structure जैसे रह जाएगा, and the endosperm will become more and more developed. But if it is the pea and the mango, what will happen? Pea and the pulses of the mango, the most common type of plants. It is the embryo which will start developing and becoming bigger from the seed, and embryo will be the prominent structure inside. Endosperm कहा जाएगा? Endosperm will be all used up. Endosperm is no more there. The nutrients stored in the endosperm will all be used up. Antibodies all used up. Synergids all used up. So name the gametes which participate in the process of double fertilization. Two polar nuclei and egg. Name the gametes which participate. Name the female gametes which participate in the process of double fertilization. Two polar nuclei and egg cell. Name the male gametes, or how many male gametes participate in the process of fertilization? One. How many female gametes participate in the process of fertilization? One. Read the question when you answer. So these are the different type of questions you will get. How many male gametes, how many female gametes? पूरा double fertilization अगर है, then 2 male gametes and female gametes कितने? How many female gametes participate in double fertilization? How many female gametes participate in double fertilization? 3. 2 polar nuclei and 1 egg cell. Why are we not counting the antipodals and the synergids? Because they are not directly involved in any of the 2 steps of fusion. They are there, but they are only providing the nourishment. Are these things clear now? So this way you have to understand. And what was the process of fusion of the 2 polar nuclei and the second male gamete known as?
Triple fusion.
Endosperm is formed by triple fusion. Zygote is formed by fertilization. So all these terms, concepts clear hona chahiye. Now to understand the next part of the chapter, that is, we talk about reproduction in human. Now the concept of gametes, gonads, lagbhag same rahega. So we are talking about the process of reproduction, the concept of reproductive system in human. Reproductive system in human. First of all, what are the different types of cells, chromosomes? Very clear. With reference to the previous chapter, when we had done heredity over, no? Yeah, so heredity also I must have explained you that what are the different types of chromosomes and the concept of gametes little bit. So now that's the first part. When we are talking about the concept of human reproductive system, we are going to understand the male-female system, their parts, functions, etc. But before that, general concept is what? We are talking about the primary reproductive organs. What are these? The primary reproductive organs are what? What are the primary reproductive organs? Yes, and testes. The primary reproductive organs play a major role and they perform many different types of functions. Primary reproductive organs are of 2 types. What are those? I talk about the testes in the males. Otherwise, I talk about the ovary in the female. The cells of the testes, again, understand this concept. The cells of the testes will undergo a process known as meiosis. The cells of the testes will undergo a process known as meiosis. The cells of the ovary will undergo a process known as meiosis. As a result, if I talk about the testes will produce 4 gametes, and all the 4 gametes have the same amount of nucleus and the same amount of cytoplasm also. So I would write here that the number of chromosomes in case of the male gametes are how many? 23. Whereas the number of chromosomes in the cell of the testis is what? That is 46. So then what is the number? What is the meaning of this notation that I write? 2n and n. 2n refers to a diploid number of chromosomes and n refers to the haploid number of chromosomes. What is the meaning of these? Diploid and haploid? Diploid meaning the complete number of the total number of chromosomes that the organism has in the cells. For us it is 46. Other different organisms numbers are alag hai. So I talk about that. What is the meaning of this word? Diploid number. We generally say the diploid number of testes is 46. So what do you understand by that statement? The diploid number of testes is 46. Diploid number of ovary is 46. Meaning what? Meaning is what is the number of chromosome in every cell of the ovary? What is the number? Now, it is not only the ovary and the testes, remember. What is the number of chromosome in the cells of the skin cells? Only 46 cells. What is the number of chromosome in the bone cells, liver cells, cells of the skin and cells of the muscles and the stomach? 46 है. 46 है. Difference यही है, when I talk about the cell of the stomach and the intestine, they are dividing by mitosis. याद है mitosis? So if it is mitosis, how many cells are formed from one cell of the stomach? 2. And दोनों cell में 46 chromosome है, so that they can again continue the process of growth repair. ठीक है? So that was our concept. Long time we had discussed that if a cell is dividing by mitosis, the chromosome number remains the same. क्योंकि mitosis में पहले DNA duplication होता है. Already I have done this. DNA doubling होता है and then the division होता है. So I talk about a cell of the liver, cell of the muscle, cell of the bone. Are they dividing? Yes. How? By mitosis. So chromosome number हर बार हर एक cell का same रहता है. Every cell is dividing into 2 cells and दोनों cell में ही 46 होगा. By the process of DNA duplication in one of the stages, the number of the chromosome becomes 46 into 2, double हो जाता है and then split. So that is one. The moment we talk about reproductive organs, the process is very different. Which process? Meiosis. One cell of the testis will always form 4 gametes, whereas one cell of the ovary will always form 4 gametes, but then only one functional gamete. What is the reason? We'll have to understand. When we are talking about the cell of the ovary, that also has diploid number same hai. The diploid number is what? 46. What are these male gametes known as? Male gametes are known as sperms. What are the female gametes known as? Ovum, singular, ova, plural. Now, we don't write ovums. Ovas, ऐसे नहीं चलता. Either you write ova. Ova मतलब plural है. Ovum, singular लिखना है तो ovum है. Okay. Now, तो यहाँ पे क्या होगा? What is the haploid number? Haploid number is 23. Now, you get a question always that one cell of the testis shows meiosis to form 4 functional gametes. But in the female body is not like that. In the female body, one cell of the ovary divides to form meiosis. वही meiosis हो रहा है. But it divides to form only one functional gamete. Only this is functional. And actually इसी को ही ovum कहते हैं. Then what about the other small 3? This other small 3 are actually known as what? Polar bodies. Polar nuclei कहाँ पे? Plant में. And now here we are talking about polar bodies. We'll write one answer on this. This is important. First of all, I talk about the concept of the primary reproductive organs. So testis and ovary है. The cells of the testis and ovary always undergo the process of meiosis. As a result of meiosis, now if a cell undergoes meiosis, always 4 gametes, 4 cells. Yes, 4 cells here, 4 cells here. But in case of the testis, what's happening? The distribution of the cytoplasm and the nuclear content is all equal during the course of cell division. But female में क्या होता है? Female में, when the process of cell division is going on, the cytoplasm gets concentrated at one particular cell. something like this, you may understand that how is it possible? It is something, say suppose I talk about one particular cell which is undergoing the process of cell division. When I say cytoplasm is getting concentrated, meaning what? This particular cell will divide in such a way, nuclear division same इस तरह से होगा half, but in the entire course of cytoplasmic division, the division will be something like this. Otherwise, cell division should show a division something like this. Yes or no? But ऐसा नहीं होता है whenever we are talking about this. And then now a constriction. So now what will happen? This is a bigger cell and this is a smaller cell. इसको बोलेंगे polar body and इसको बोलेंगे oval. Understood? And this will again give rise to another thing. Now, we are not talking about the process right now. The process now not needed for you and it will become confusing also. So why am I saying that in case of the ovary, only one functional gamete, because cytoplasmic division uneven होता है, but nuclear division, don't write, I will give you a proper answer, wait, don't write. So why is it like this? Because, how come only one functional gamete? Because cytoplasmic division is uneven, cytoplasm ज़्यादातर एक ही सेल में जाके concentrate हो जाता है, and the other three gets very small, negligible amount, but nuclear content is the same. Can you tell me what is the reason like behind this? Any idea? What may be the reason? See, all these are nobody planned, but it is just as it is happening. As it is, it has happened and it has a great significance. The significance is, in the later part of the chapter, we are going to understand the ovum should always have a maximum amount of cytoplasm. Cytoplasm always means a big reserve of nutrients. And now that the process of fertilization will happen, the sperm is always contributing only the nucleus. Sperm के पास cytoplasm भी negligible होता है. So this ovum is only getting the nuclear content of the male gamete, and it is this only which is getting transformed into the zygote. So अभी nuclear division, cell division के लिए adequate nutrients की जरूरत है. So from here the nutrients, it will allow the process of division, cell division. बहुत सारे cycles of cell division इसी nutrition से हो जाता है. First of all, we will write one answer here, right? Right? One cell of testis produces. One cell of testis produces 4 functional gametes. 4 functional gametes, whereas one cell of ovary produces. Whereas one cell of ovary produces only one functional gamete. Only one functional gamete by the process of meiosis. By the process of meiosis. By the process of meiosis. Explain. Full stop. Explain. By the process of meiosis. Explain. Answer. Answer. The cell of testis shows meiotic or shows meiosis. The cell of testis shows meiosis. Shows meiosis, in which the cytoplasmic and the nuclear division, in which cytoplasmic and nuclear division is even. Cytoplasmic and nuclear division is even. As a result, the gametes formed As a result, the gametes formed contain equal amount of cytoplasm, and the same number of chromosomes. Full stop. Next slide. The cell of ovary divides by meiosis. The cell of ovary divides by meiosis such that the cytoplasm is concentrated in one single cell, which is known as the ovum. But the nuclear material is divided evenly in all the cells. Nuclear material is divided evenly in all the cells. Hence, all the four cells contain same number of chromosomes. All the four cells contain the same number of chromosomes. Now, what did you write in this question? What did you write in this answer is that how is it possible that the test is though shows meiosis forms 4 functional gametes. Cell of the ovary also shows meiosis but forms only 1 functional gamete. You are always to write. I gave you certain frame of sentences. You write on your own, not a problem. But the concept has to be expressed always correctly. What is the concept you express? This cell also divides by meiosis. This cell also divides by meiosis. During this process, cytoplasm and nuclear division is equal, even. So every cell is getting the same amount of cytoplasm and the same number of chromosomes. What is happening here? One cell only gets the bulk of the cytoplasm. The rest 3 are getting a small amount, negligible amount. But the nuclear division is even. So now every particular chromosome, every particular cell is getting the same number of chromosomes. Now next is, when we are talking about the concept of gametes, we'll also have to understand before we start with the steps, because the moment we start with the system, we'll be using all these words. You should be very clear about these words. Now that we are talking about the concept of the gametes, something also to understand, what is the comparison, the male and the female gamete? Structurally, what is the comparison, the male and the female gamete? The male gamete can move on its own. The male gamete is very small. The male gamete is motile. These are the words you should use. The male gamete is very small compared to the female gamete. But again, both of them are microscopic. Both are microscopic, but there also we can compare the size. So this is extremely small, very small amount of cytoplasm, comparatively bigger cell. Non-motile, this is non-motile. It cannot move on its own. But this can move on its own because it has got a lashing tail, large number of mitochondria, etc. And the third point that you should remember is, which we are going to study later in fertilization. What about the lifespan? Does this cell have a specific lifespan? Yes. This says, now actually every cell in our body has lifespan, but we don't generally study lifespans of so many different types of cells in our body. We generally talk about the lifespans of only the blood cells because they are so important in our body. The RBC lifespan, all of you must be knowing, the WBC lifespan. And now we are talking about the lifespans of the gametes. Okay, so the bone cell, liver cells, सबके lifespan होते हैं. So now that we are talking about the lifespan of this cell, I would say that the lifespan of the female gamete is just about 1 to 2 days. Lifespan 1 to 2 days, just that much, 24 to 48 hours. 24 hours के बाद the functional ability decreases. What about this one? Huh? 2 to 3. कौन सा encyclopedia में तुमको 72 days बता रहा है? हाँ? YouTube. तो यहाँ पे है ना बहुत महाराजी लोग वो वहाँ पे YouTube का देख के 10th का प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं. किसने बोला था मुझे PTA में YouTube का चैनल देख के प्रिपरेशन हो रहा है एग्जाम का? किसने बोला था? बहुत लोगों ने बोला था. So now, see, you'll end up writing all these answers. Huh? So now, when we are talking about this, the lifespan of these type of cells very less, and that's the reason the chances of fertilization is very less. Chances of fertilization very less. So these are the 3 points I first of all mentioned. We will write another question: differences between male and female gamete. Then I will start with the system. Now you understand the system much better. What are the 3 main differences between the male and the female gametes? What are gametes? अगर कुछ question आता है, what will you write? What are gametes? हाँ, वो तो उसको alternate नाम हो गया. हाँ, what are gametes? अब जो इतना सारा मैंने gametes और gonads लिखा, gametes है क्या? What are gametes? Specialized reproductive cells. Specialized reproductive cells. So I said write this answer, difference between male and female gamete, make a column very fast. Let us write down 3 major differences between the male and the female gametes that you should know. Number 1 for the male gamete. Number 1 for the male gamete. What happened? Why do you look so sad? पढ़ाई चल रहा है? All good, no? Why no smile today? कुछ है? गड़बड़ है? एग्जाम का रिजल्ट दिया कुछ? पेपर दिखाया? हाँ? किसने बोला हाँ? या अच्छा अमृता का वो दूसरा अमृता गायब क्यों है? हॉस्टल्स गायब क्यों है 2 दिन से? अच्छा उसका गणपति चल रहा है. कितना मिला? 8 out of 10. अब वो 10 on 10 होना चाहिए. दिखा नहीं क्वेश्चन. अच्छा क्वेश्चन नहीं रहा. क्या बात सेक्शन की था फिर एक जगह ये जो एक्सक्यूज तुमने बोला ना ये मेरे लिए नया है. नहीं सच में सेक्शन की था फिर सारा जगह छोड़ के डायग्राम वगैरह था. फिर बाद में ना मैंने डायरेक्ट सेक्शन की शुरू कर दी सी शुरू कर दी. तो रिवीजन कुछ करते नहीं हो क्या लिखने के बाद? टाइम में 30 घंटे. कितने मार्क का? 30 का. और केमिस्ट्री? केमिस्ट्री में भी 8.5 हाँ 8.5. फिजिक्स 8. 24.5. 8 on 8. फिजिक्स ने 10 सब में 8. I told you certain methods to be followed in the PTM. कर रहे हो कि नहीं कर रहे हो? हाँ? पढ़ा? एक बार रिवीजन हुआ? उसमें से कुछ डाउट्स निकला? कुछ डाउट्स नहीं निकला? अरे कैसे कैसे? तो पढ़ाई नहीं हुई. डाउट्स नहीं निकला उसके बाद तो पढ़ाई नहीं हुआ. पूरा समझ में आया? कौन सा चैप्टर? डाउट्स ही नहीं है कुछ भी? पूरा समझ में आया? मुझे था मैंने आपके लेक्चर का एक्सप्लेन के लिए डाला था. मैं आई नहीं. हाँ डाउट के ऑनलाइन. अच्छा अभी वापस पढ़ो, उसके बाद जो डाउट्स और आज इसको 5 क्वेश्चन पूछो, कंट्रोल कोऑर्डिनेशन में से 5 क्वेश्चन इसको पूछो, देखेंगे कितना इसको आता है। डिफरेंस बिटवीन, पढ़ो पढ़ो पढ़ो, कीप रिवाइजिंग, साइंस में 100 on 100 लाने की कोशिश करो। The area that you find little bit difficult to solve, ज़्यादा पढ़ो। First point for male gamete you write smaller in size with scanty cytoplasm, SCANTY, negligible amount, scanty, smaller in size with scanty cytoplasm. Other side, female gamete, comparatively larger, other side, male gamete again, 4 functional male gamete, 4 functional male gamete form from 1 cell of testis. 4 functional male gamete form from 1 cell of testis. Other side, 1 functional female gamete formed. 1 functional female gamete formed from 1 cell of ovary. 1 cell of ovary. Number 2. Number 3, male gamete, they are motile. MOTILE, they are motile. Motile मतलब याद रखो, motile, if you have a doubt within bracket लिख के रखो, they are able to move on their own, Female non-motile. And the last point, lifespan, that is the 4th point, no? Yes. Lifespan, male gamete लिखो 2 to 3 days. 2 to 3 days. Female gamete 1 to 2 days. This concept you may use in your answer when certain questions related to fertilization is there. Now we start with the male system, the male reproductive system. The male reproductive system, in case of the male reproductive system, what are the parts and the functions? So many features we have to understand. The male system generally does not come for drawing. That's a difficult diagram, but that is there in the syllabus, diagram drawing. So later, once we are done with this, I will ask you to draw the male. Female is easier and that's more important. Very common comes in the exam. For the female system, we will draw. So right now, we will refer to the male system only in diagram and labeling the parts. What are the parts of the male system? Let us learn. The first is a pair of testes. The second would be a pair of vas deferens. Check the spelling of vas deferens. Students would always write difference, वो English difference का spelling. Now third is a single urethra. And fourth would be a single penile region. So these are the different parts. Let's start with the testis. The first primary organ, I already mentioned all these. Now the basic concept you already know. We talk about the testes, a pair of testes. What are some of the features of the testes one by one? Where is the testes here? The reproductive and the excretory system are very close. So that's why we always understand they are almost together. So this is the testis. Where is the vas deferens? This is the vas deferens. Check the spelling again. Vas deferens. Where is the urethra? This part is known as the urethra. And the penile region is surrounding the urethra also to understand. Functions क्या लिखेंगे? Testis. This particular organ performs two major functions. One is production of the male gametes. Production of the male gametes. And what is the male gamete known as? Sperms. Formation of male gametes, that is the first function. And what is the second function that the testis does? Secretion of the female hormone. I'm sorry, the male hormone. Not possible. I'm sorry. Secretion of the male hormone, and that is known as the testosterone. So, exam में जब आता है write two functions, write the functions of testis. यही दो function लिखना है. एक mark है तो एक function लिखना. So this is what to write. So testis के functions क्या है? Formation of the male gamete and secretion of the testosterone. Now, certain more features of the testis we'll have to learn. Let us just finish with the ये जो बाकी parts है, these parts only the major एक या दो functions ही पूछा जाता है and the location that you should know. What about the vas deferens? What is the location of the vas deferens? Which parts of the system the vas deferens connects? Vas deferens is connecting the testis with the urethra. Yes or no? Check the diagram. Urethra already you know, the bladder and the urethra. These are parts of the excretory system. So if I talk about what is the function of the vas deferens, the vas deferens is actually helps in the conduction, passage of the sperms. So when we are talking about what is being formed here in the testis, sperms and the hormone. So now what is running down in the tube? Hormone running down in the tube. Will the hormone run in the tube? Control coordination हो चुका ना? So your hormone will run down in the tube. क्यों नहीं? Into the blood. Okay? So not to write at all that function. So what will run down in this particular tube is the testis. So only the sperms, only the sperms will run down here. So when we are talking about the sperms, what function would you write for the vas deferens? Very clear. Helps in the passage of the male gametes. Helps in the passage. What is the function? Passage of male gametes, that is the sperms. Next again, when we are talking about the urethra, urethra का भी function same है. What is this urethra doing? Urethra has yeah. क्या हो गया? ये जो डायग्राम है that is the side lateral view है. तुम्हारे बुक में जो बोलो testis a pair होता है. It is a pair. Ovary also a pair. ठीक है? No confusion. It is a pair of testes. देखो मैंने लिखा भी है a pair of testes. तुम्हारे जो बुक में that's why I did not start with the diagram. You will be extremely confused with that. So this is the front view. That there are various different sections. We understand, no? So तुम्हारी बुक में जो वैसे भी NCERT तो माशाल्लाह है. उसका डायग्राम कुछ पढ़ोगे तो कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आने वाला है. So this diagram I want you all to roughly draw and keep in your notebook. बाद में जो पढ़ते हो एकदम easily समझ में आएगा. The parts, functions की और भी बहुत कुछ हमें सीखना है. उसके जो टेक्स्ट बुक के जो डायग्राम से talk about the nephron, neuron, कुछ भी डायग्राम क्लियर नहीं रहता है. एग्जाम में डायग्राम रिलेटेड टू व्हाट इज अ क्लियर डायग्राम ड्रॉ करना है. व्यू तुम भले एनसीईआरटी वाला ले सकते हो. दिस डायग्राम ऑफ कोर्स आई एम नॉट आस्किंग यू टू ड्रॉ फॉर द एग्जाम. ये अभी समझने के लिए है. ठीक है? डायग्राम दैट ओनली यू विल ट्राई ड्रॉइंग बट दैट इज एक्सट्रीमली कॉम्प्लिकेटेड डायग्राम. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई एम टीचिंग यू विद दिस. Once you understand as it is वो वाला डायग्राम भी बाद में हम करेंगे. Now single urethra. Let us try understanding the parts. Urethra का क्या function होगा? It is a common passage for urine also and for sperms also. ठीक है? In the main body. So what will be right for the urethra? It's a common passage. Common passage for urine and sperms. for urine and sperm. So यही function लिखना है. What about the last one, the penile region? It is a muscular structure surrounding the urethra. Its main function is copulation. What is meant by copulation? Passage of the male gamete. Passage of the male gamete into the female body. So यही a process which is necessary for the process of fertilization. ठीक है? Gamete into the female body. So these are just one specific function to know. Apart from that, nothing else to understand here. एक specific function ही पूछा जाता है. So far these parts are there. But we'll also have to study accessory glands. ठीक है? Accessory glands हम पढ़ेंगे. Copulation, come across this word, COPU. Now we'll go back to the concept of testes again. बाकी सारे features we have to understand for the table. So testes we are going to learn. So first of all, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 parts I discussed. क्या हुआ? Copulation मतलब the process by which the male gamete has to enter into the female body. By the reproductive passages, that is very much necessary. Now children, I know some of you are finding it a bit odd. And some of you I can see it's very natural because you all are perhaps तुम लोग ये बहुत लोग हमारे भी गुरु हो, I know. In this reference, I can see some of you are, but children feel very free. We are only studying certain parts of the body and certain processes. And better, before you step into anything, you should be very aware of all these things, no? And at the same time, some of you will take this as a profession also. Medical पढ़ना है किन लोगों को? Medical किन लोगों को पढ़ना है? So as it is, you have to know every part of your body nicely. है कि नहीं? So there is no embarrassment. इसमें कोई embarrassment नहीं है. As I taught you the heart and the lungs and the kidney, and now that I teach you this part, कोई embarrassment नहीं. I see some of you a bit hesitant, hiding your face. No, nothing there. No embarrassment रखो, no hesitation रखो. Are you clear with this? So I told you first of all the 3 basic processes. Now I will start talking about the testes. What are some of the other points of the testes that we'll have to remember? Now, certain more features of the testes in case of the male body. Let us try understanding. In case of the male body, unlike the female, the testis is not included within the abdomen. It is outside the abdomen. It is outside the abdomen. Is the testis inside the abdomen? No, it is outside the abdomen. And it is contained or covered by the scrotal sac. Covered by the scrotal sac. Come get acquainted with this word. Where is the scrotal sac in this diagram? I would say a muscular sac-like structure, and this muscular sac-like structure would be known as scrotal sac. Nature, muscular I'm mentioning. So I said outside the abdomen, contained by the scrotal sac or contained by a muscular scrotal sac. Now when I say muscular, I'm talking about this word muscular, putting stress here because this basic nature of the muscles play a very important role. What is it? This muscular bag or the set of muscles constantly undergo the process of contraction and relaxation. How? This muscular bag contracts and brings the testes. It will contract and bring the testes closer to the body, when outside temperature is low. When outside temperature is much lower. That is one point. What is the second? The same muscular sac. We are talking about the muscular scrotal sac. It will relax and take the testes away from the body, when the outside temperature is very high, or when the body temperature tends to rise up. Here we are talking about actually one concept. What are the two processes I just now mentioned? Specify the specialized feature of the scrotal sac. What is the scrotal sac? What is it? Medium temperature होगा, तो there will be no specific contraction, relaxation, कुछ भी नहीं होगा. So I am talking about two things here. This muscular scrotal sac from time to time contracts and relaxes. Outside temperature बहुत low है, the scrotal sac will tend to bring the organ towards the body. Why? For optimum sperm production. Again, the other one. Relax, take the organ away from the body when the body is heating up or outside temperature very low. But ये दो processes क्यों होता है? To maintain the optimum temperature for sperm production. To maintain optimum temperature for sperm production. What is the optimum temperature for sperm production? 2 to 3 degrees centigrade lesser than the body temperature. Lesser than body temperature. This is considered optimum for the process of sperm production. तो ये temperature maintain करना बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है in the male body, and because of this, these two processes are on and off happening. आया समझ में? So that is the function of the scrotal sac. You should always write. And this question quite often comes for 3 marks. What is the significance of the scrotal sac? ये 2 point लिखना है. These are the points you have to mention in your answer. Break अभी चाहिए? Break चाहिए? मैम ब्रेक के बाद वो एक बार वाला पार्ट हो. हाँ ठीक है. ब्रेक के बाद फिर कंटिन्यू करेंगे. सिंपल.